Welcome to Three Devs and a Maybe, the podcast series for beginner web developers and general web enthusiasts. Now, introducing your show hosts, Michael Budd, Fraser Hart, Lewis Gaines, and Ed Mann.
Good afternoon, stroke evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Three Devs and Maybe, the web development podcast for people who like the internet. This is our first show of the year, isn't it?
It is.
Yes. It is. Yeah. So welcome
Happy New Year.
Exactly. Welcome to 2015, everyone. We will be your shepherds ushering in the new year full of prospects and promises. Currently, there's myself, which is Fraser, and we've got Ed and Michael with us.
Hello.
Yo.
And so Ed, I understand something happened to your face over New Year.
My face just got better and better. Well, my modelling career was over for about 2 weeks.
It's back on track now.
It's back on track now, you know. Yeah. The human body is amazing, like how it just fixes itself.
Yeah.
You know,
Because it was quite a shocker. Like just to let the audience know, like we got we've got a group WhatsApp conversation going on. All of a sudden, like out of nowhere, we hadn't spoken for. I say it wasn't a long time. It was probably like 6 hours or something. We hadn't spoken. Then all of a sudden, this photo comes through. So you see, there's an image. So you download the image, and there's a picture of Ed, and he looks as though he's been beaten the hell out of. Like honestly, I thought you'd been jumped by maybe 15 or 20 people.
It did.
I thought so.
I was contemplating. I was like, shall I just send that picture just randomly, or actually say some context? And I was like, actually, because it looked pretty funny. Well, I can laugh at it now. It didn't feel funny at the time.
It was scary to look at.
It was it was a pretty scary time, really. Christmas was amazing. Christmas was amazing. Was able to do a lot of reading, released a couple of blog posts, which was awesome. New Year's was great up until probably just gone New Year's, probably about 2 a.m. or so, and we're heading back. And I decide, hey Aimee, I'll give you a piggyback, and then I decide to faceplant myself on the pavement. Which was pretty scary, you know, as you do. Yeah, that's what we do. That's cool. It turns out I knocked myself out. Blood everywhere. It seems like then these guys come over. I don't remember this because obviously I was in dreamland. It was lovely. Yeah. Then these guys come over and they're trying to like move me or something. And Amy's like, "No, don't move him." I was like, "Yeah, my honor, defending my honor, love it." And then, I wake up because we have the riot police come because they think we're having a fight. And it's like, no, I just face planted the floor like an idiot. And they're like, Ed, how many fingers am I holding up? And they did the whole joke with the L1 finger salute. And I'm like, I know that one. And then they end up rushing us to A&E. And
that's insane.
I just had like a couple of stitches on my nose, which wasn't bad. They all kept thinking my nose was broken. It's like, no, it's just naturally crooked like that. It's a bit, you know, and it really is. And it was pretty scary though. I'm not going to lie.
Did you literally fall straight on your face, or did you put your hands out?
No, because I was trying to protect Aimee. And now I realise, obviously, Aimee was
chivalrous young man.
The thing is, it's like Amy's a gymnast. She knows how to fall. So, you know, obviously, I don't know how to fall because falling on your face is not the way to do it, guys.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd let you know that. So I fall on my face, kind of bust it open. Luckily, you don't break anything, and I didn't break any teeth either. So these gnashes are still all good. But it was pretty scary, and everyone kept thinking, like in A&E, we had then, of course, so everyone's. New Year's A&E, not the easiest to play.
I bet that was a wicked fun place to be.
It's like it was pretty quiet. Like there was one guy who goes, "Oh yeah, I got leapt on by 5 pikeys," and like he had a bashed up nose, and he kept coming over to me because obviously he thought I was in a fight. It's like, no, I face planted the floor, and I was pretty groggy at the time, and so Aimee told me after saying, he was quite close to you when you kept saying to me, you know, things like, will you bugger off, please? Like, you know, I wish this guy would leave me alone. And in a lesson, but she was very good. Aimee was amazing, and so was Adam. He was there with me, and I'm not doing that again. So piggybacks are a no-no.
But apart from that, was it a fun evening?
It was great. Like before it was amazing. And then
you went to the Slug and Lettuce in Tunbridge?
It was so good. It was amazing. And then it wasn't. Well, it's a story to tell now, but it's amazing. Like in a week, I took a picture. I was really sad. I thought, I'm going to take a picture a day of my face. As you do, just how it progresses.
You do one of those, but you know the Homer.
I was thinking about doing that, but I don't know how weird it will look. And you know, it's like progression.
But you've healed up like anything because it's what, less than 2 weeks, and you've
it's
looked,
fine. I mean, So I'll do it
Awesome.
again. I'm doing it again next week. I might as well do a proper job next time.
Oh, we might as
Properly
well.
bash me
Next year,
over.
leave it till next year. Don't do it next week.
Next year,
You've only just healed up. Yeah,
Leave it as a yearly thing.
yeah. You
Aimee,
don't want to do a
you up
weekly
for that?
thing because
Amy's on the podcast. This is the first time Aimee is on the podcast. Aimee, do you want to say hi on the podcast?
Hi.
There you go.
Wow.
There we go.
There you go.
Rude.
I have
The
a
one
girlfriend.
and only
Look at
Aimee,
that.
the love
I have
of his
I
life.
have a lovely Aimee.
That's a sound clip. You just hit play.
That's a sound
That
clip.
Yeah. Oh, we can see your new place for the first time as well.
Yeah, you can kind of see.
Magnolia.
Oh, because you've got the internet now.
There. I'm not really doing much service. There's Aimee in bed, just watching some stuff. There
Wow.
you go.
Hi, Aimee.
And yeah, so it's pretty boring room. But you guys need to come down or up.
No,
or
definitely.
how we do it. And
Likewise, well, because I'm in the new place for the first time now as well. So yeah, you guys have got to come up, and I've got to come down there.
do.
And, yeah,
We need to sort this out. But anyway, that's my New Year's and Christmas and stuff. How the devil has Mickey?
yeah, maybe.
Would you go round, do a little
To be
round
honest,
robin?
I don't have an exciting story like yours. I mean, my face has always been a mess, so no change. But
So you didn't bash your face open? Oh, you loser.
I didn't think about it, but
Boring.
I didn't have time. But no, pretty quiet one. I think I had 2 beers on New Year's Eve, and I watched Anchorman 2 with Abby and my brother and his partner. So
You know what? That sounds actually quite fun, to be fair. That sounds quite chill.
I'm not-
Is the second one good?
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah,
Good.
I mean, you know what? I mean, it's hard to live up to the hype of the first, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it is good if you just take it as it is rather than comparing it to the first. It's it's well worth a watch, definitely.
Wicked.
But yeah, so pretty quiet one for me. How about you, Fraser?
It was pretty eventful. Well, not pretty eventful. It was a good fun one. Because we decided to have a party at our house because I moved out a couple of days after, so it was kind of like a leaving party stroke New Year's party. But the housemates wanted to do this kind of big really organised thing, and I didn't want to get. I just wanted to have a few drinks and just kind
I
of
wanna
keep
get
it
drunk,
low key and stuff. Yeah, so they were like,
socialising.
"Oh yeah, right, we're going to set up for the party." And I'm like, "I don't really want to set up." So I went and met Lewis on the Pantiles and had a few beers with him and Rachel while the housemates all set up by themselves. But I guess I can't hold my booze very well, so I went down to the Pantiles and met Lewis at I think about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Got I think 4 drinks in me. And I was like, stumble back home.
I'm ready for the night.
Yeah, stumble back home, and I got home at 7 o'clock. And then it was kind of starting to take off there. So I was like, okay, I'll start drinking again. Then my housemates had set up a beer pong table, and I'm not very good at throwing little balls in cups apparently. So yeah, I ended up getting a little bit drunk. It was good fun, and then kind of midnight came around. We all watched the fireworks on TV and all that stuff. And did you watch the Queen thing as well?
No, what was that?
Yes.
Not the Queen as in the woman Queen, Queen as in the band.
Oh, the decent Queen. Ooh.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be horrific because I thought it was you can't. There's some 21-year-old fronting Queen, some no offense to Americans, but some American.
Yeah, you can't do Freddie.
Pop Idol winner.
Yeah,
is fronting Queen, but he did a really good job. He did.
I completely
fantastic.
agree with you.
Yeah.
I think he's really, really good. Actually, I was the same as you. I was thinking, you can't
Exactly. Yeah,
you can't copy
replace
Freddie Mercury, can you?
Yeah.
I mean, I know they had George Michael for some time, didn't they? But
Did they?
Yeah, But then, this guy was really good. He hits every note perfect. Doesn't
Really?
he?
You
Really
have to
good.
YouTube this because I didn't actually watch that. I didn't even know it was going down.
somebody or other, or but
yeah,
like you say, American
Pop Idol or
winner,
American Idol or something like that. Yeah, but it was surprisingly good.
Cool.
And then kind of 12:30 came around. All the housemates, let's go to town to a nightclub. And I was like, there's a zero chance of doing that.
Yeah, this is
So
I can't even get up now.
Yeah, so this is my cue to sneak off to bed. So I went off to bed, and they all went out apart from my housemate, who at 12 had passed out on the couch and then thrown up all over himself. So everyone left him sitting there in his own puke, and everyone went out, and I went to bed. So it was
Did
good.
he wake up just in? Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I came down in the morning, and then he was
blanket of his own
taking
sin.
the covers off the cushions and putting them through the washing machine,
Oh man.
and all his clothes were in the shower. So yeah,
Oh, to be. Oh dear. Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
Mickey, I think you had the most
Successful,
outrageous, successful New Year's ever.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Actually, it's pretty tame for me. So
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. Yeah. If anyone wants to do a party, it's Mickey does a party.
yeah.
Even if no one else is partying, he is partying.
Give him a
The
couple of
lemon
lemons, and
is
he's
flowing in his eye.
yeah.
So how's everything been going back? Because did you guys work over Christmas, New Year?
I took time off. And,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty nice to be honest with you. I say pretty nice. I had an absolute nightmare, but
Well, that's not...
It was
pretty good. No, it was the worst time of my life.
Christmas was really good, and then I don't know if this is well documented on the last podcast we did, but I was trying to finish off some freelance work, and I convinced myself that I needed to upgrade my version of Apache on my DigitalOcean box.
Oh yes, yeah.
Compile from source and all that fun stuff.
Fiasco. I did. I built Apache from source. I built PHP from source, and then I realised that like all the old MySQL functions have been completely removed in PHP 5.6.
And is that because there were CodeIgniter sites that you were having issues with? Was the old MySQL stuff like in the CodeIgniter framework itself?
Exactly. Yeah. I only had about 3 or 4 legacy sites, but I had to deal with them all.
Yeah.
And it was like, do I go back to 5.4, which is a nice stable release? Everyone knows it works really nice. Or do I stick with what I've got and push through? So I did.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Once I figured out what the issue was, but I wasn't getting any errors, and then
so you're just getting display. Yeah, well, didn't you send a nice tweet to me and Joe Watkins saying Ed had a problem? Thanks, man. It's always nice. It's like, oh yeah, Ed, I tried to upgrade Ed's box. Well, Ed tried to upgrade his box, and he's having problems.
But you know what the big issue was? Like Joe kindly said, and he was right. He was like, just crank up error reporting to the max, and I did. I've already done that, but the the issue was that in the CodeIgniter code base, they suppressed a load of errors, with the
at symbol. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, is that because of production mode?
The thing is, like, if you're in production mode or development mode, it doesn't matter because they literally suppress the error, so there's nothing that would come through.
Actually, before talking about CodeIgniter, have you seen recently that the latest version of CodeIgniter, they're going to go with 5.2.4 or something as being the lowest release needed?
I did see that.
Which is the thing is though is like I think the guy who was doing it all, he's got like a Limp Bizkit avatar, so he's awesome. Bring on the 2001, like he said that obviously if they were to like upgrade to 5.4 as the min release, they wouldn't have made CodeIgniter the way they've made it. Like they would use auto loading and all this. Yeah. So really, it's kind of like their selling point is that they can do 5.2, but then no one should be using 5.2 anymore.
See the point. But I think I said to you, Ed, like, I looked at it because I changed my CodeIgniter sites to use PDO.
How easy was that? Is it another driver in their quotes of MySQL PDO driver in CodeIgniter land? Or?
There might have been stuff I did wrong, so I might be making false accusations here. But for me, I had to go into one of the system files and I had to add in the MySQL MySQL whatever it is, equal localhost or whatever, because they hadn't got that in there.
All right.
So my PDO connection wasn't working at all. So maybe it's something I've done wrong there. I won't want to criticise CodeIgniter in case I've got that wrong, but I had to do that, which was a nightmare. And then basically, if you use PDO and CodeIgniter, because of the way it uses active record and everything, there was no way of like binding parameters. So actually, you lose any of the benefits of.
You don't get any prepared statements.
You don't. So actually, it's kind of pointless.
You're only using it because of the fact that you need it because it's not MySQL stuff's not supported anymore, which actually isn't, a bad thing to get rid of. At least you're now using a better.
Yeah, now I'm there. It's really, really good, but it was probably getting me. Basically, I was trying to fix one problem, and by fixing that one problem, I created a load of more problems.
Yeah,
which is
water.
Snowball
effect.
Yeah,
but is it all good now though?
Well, once I got this guy Ed Mann in.
Ed Mann, who's that?
He sounds like a bit of a cowboy to me.
He does. He sounds like he face plants floors for a living. So.
Yeah, basically, you know what I'm like. I struggle with something for about 6 months, and I get Ed in, and he fixes it after 2 minutes, and then I just feel
just
suicide.
face plant the floor. It helps a lot. People say, getting concussions is bad. No, it makes you think.
But no, after Ed did a little fix for me, my little chat application is working perfectly. The client was loving it. He's like, Mike, why aren't you working at Facebook? And I was like, well, because I'm stupid. But, he was...
It looks awesome. I loved it. Playing around with it was great.
Yeah, it worked pretty well. And WebSockets are very cool when you get them working.
And so can you now say that freelance work is done?
Almost. I've got two little tiny bits left to do. They should be like a couple of hours.
Is that like the forgotten password thing? And
I've done that. That's all done. Yeah, the client...
Plain text password, yeah.
Plain text password.
I hope you email them the password they put in because you need to say it in plain text.
The other thing I did use, because I used to use that encrypt library code.
Password hashing.
So in 5.6...
5.5 now you can use the hashing that they give you.
Is that because there's a function, isn't there, in PHP 5.6 password _ hash?
Yep, that's it. Cammy 5.5, so you can start using that goodness.
Okay, yeah. So I was using that. Really nice, really easy to use, and you can choose what algorithm you use as well, like the options. So I've been using AES, but you can use anything you want basically. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, that was stressful, but all good and all done. So yeah,
that's
all good
cool,
in
man.
that. Yeah.
Awesome. And Fraser, we know we haven't talked about is your new place.
Yeah, my new place. I'm living in Greenwich now.
In London. Yeah, Greenwich.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Really enjoying it.
Where in relation to the university are you then?
Okay, so I haven't got a clue where the university is, but do you know where the Naval College is?
I do actually, yeah, bizarrely, near the market.
That is university, so yeah.
Okay, cool, yeah, so it's maybe 5 minutes walk from there.
You joking? That's
and
cool.
Cutty Sark, there's a McDonald's there, that's my nearest McDonald's.
Yes, and then
it's really
spoons
good.
There as well, you got Subway.
There is a spoon, the spoons
many,
is like 3
many
minutes down
drunken
the road.
university nights there. Oh,
really?
Yes.
I didn't realise, man.
Oh yeah,
you'd have to come up and show. You have to come up and show me around because I don't know. I went for a bit of an explore today.
I used to go to. Yeah,
I used to go to like Greenwich Market like on Sunday.
Yeah, I had food
really
there
good.
today. It's really good. Yeah.
Did you go to the place that they serve? I don't know if you had it before. Biltong. It's like South.
No, I clocked it though because I am a big fan of Biltong.
You are? Oh, awesome! Yeah, it's really good there. But yeah, we also have a day in Greenwich.
No,
Awesome.
definitely, man. Yeah, really enjoying it. Yeah. Like, had a few beers out on Friday night after work with a couple of friends and one of my new housemates. And have you used Uber before? This is probably something that everyone who's listening has done. But it's Uber. It's like the taxi thing. It's
the Uber HUB.
No, just UBER.
Oh, UBER.
So it's the greatest thing in the world. I think it's like an American thing, and it's been in the UK for maybe about a year or something. Because I know when I was in San Francisco, they had it there, and they got it in Los Angeles as well when I was there. But it's like it's kind of like a taxi call thing. So rather than standing on the side of the road waving your arm around for a taxi, you get on this app on your phone. It's the best thing ever, and you can say, "I want to go back to Greenwich," because we were out in Shoreditch.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I want to go to Greenwich. You press a button on the app. Calls you a taxi. The taxi was there in 5 minutes, and you can actually see where the taxi is.
That's so cool. It's like, our taxi's going to be coming around the corner now.
It's amazing. It says like you're looking out for like a silver Citroen, whatever. The number plate's this. Your driver's called this. This is what your driver looks like. This is the driver's phone number.
Oh wow!
So the driver turns up, calls you on your mobile. You sit there and talk to him. So he'll be like, "Oh, I'm outside." So you get the phone out and look at your map, and you can see exactly where the car is.
That's really safe as well.
Like, it is, and you don't need
and
you don't need cash. So you put your credit card details in there, and and it's just awesome. Oh, actually, I could probably pimp this a little bit myself. Right, so it's like a promo code thing, like because I'd never used it before, and a mate of mine gave me a promo code for it, which gave me £10 credit.
Do it,
and I used it, so it cost me 13 quid for. It was 13 quid to get from Shoreditch to Greenwich because I had this credit. It was like 3 quid. So if anybody wants £10 free credit on Uber, hang on, I'll read my Uber code out. This is going to be amazing.
Uber.
And then so if you use this code, you'll get £10 free credit, and I also get free credit. That's why.
It's all do it, man.
All very selfish. So the code, if anybody wants it, is 9LKY5.
Do it.
Yeah, do it, everyone.
Do it.
So lame.
Even if you don't need it, just do it. We want to give Fraser free taxi.
Absolutely, yeah. Free taxi rides all over London.
It's not redeemable once. You can use that code and you'll just keep
you give it to as many people as you want. Yeah, because my friend gave me his code, and I got £10 free credit for my thing.
Yeah, we don't want your friend's one. We just want yours, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone yours is like.
So everyone use that. But anyway, that's my pick that everyone probably already knows about. But it's pretty awesome. Yeah, really cool.
How's people's weeks been? How's people work weeks been? I guess this is like our first week back at work.
It has, yeah. I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it was, but it's been really kind of pleasant, to be honest with you. Because I was off Christmas Eve until the 3rd. No, was it or the 4th? No, the 5th. I went back to work. So I had almost 2 weeks off after having been there like a week and a half, which was.
Did you feel like the new guy still, or was that kind of nice to get back in? And
I still do kind of feel like the new guy, but I feel a lot more comfortable there than.
Is the hazing getting quite bad now, though?
It is, like all the belt marks on my back and stuff like there. Yeah,
you get
hopefully they're gonna. Yeah, hopefully they'll stop and those will go down. But no, yeah, very very much enjoying the new role. It's really good.
That's really good. And awesome. Mickey?
Well, it won't surprise you, but I had quite a stressful first week back. Actually, first day I had like an email about a problem with a system that's been running fine for 2 years. Like, and I don't know about you guys, but if something has a problem after 2 years, I kind of think it's probably not the code, it's probably something else. And
Yeah.
and I knew 99%. I had to spend a lot of time just debugging to try and prove that the client, it was something they'd done. So I had that issue, that was resolved, but it's just annoying. And then the second thing I've had is we're doing a site for a client, like an e-commerce site, but it's not going to be a Magento one, it's going to be our own system. But we've inherited their old database of all their products and everything, and it's kind of like reverse engineering.
How good is their database? Is it normalized and all this fun stuff? And
they also had plain text passwords.
are you able to read well?
We are doing
refactor, restructure it and stuff. Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah, definitely.
Even if you have to export it in the old way that they want it, you can always just store it in the way you want. We're
creating a whole new database. I spent the first 3 hours just drawing like the table structure and everything, because they've got this complex structure, and this is where Magento actually does. It works, but
it solves and
if we just got this whole issue where like one product can have like 20,000 different variations, like different sizes, different colors, but then they want like a stock level attached to each variation. So it's like, how do you do that in the most efficient way? And you start figuring all these glue tables that you need. And you know what? I think database design is a whole art in itself, isn't it? And it's
absolutely.
Like, if you get that right, then the whole site build becomes a lot easier. But it's just getting that. You don't want to be 3 weeks into a project and then realise that, you know what, it's not working, because then you have to change. If not, and me and you had that, didn't we, when we worked on a certain unnamed project for an old employer, and we ended up changing it. And I remember the time was quite stressful, wasn't it? But it was good. It was good that we changed it.
It was one of those things where you get this in projects, don't you? This kind of like you have to bite the bullet sometimes, and that you're going to go through maybe a couple of days, or even if it's a bigger project, like a couple of weeks of a bit of hell. But the end goal is so much nicer. The grass is so much greener, and it really is in certain cases.
Oh, a quick question for you both, actually.
Yes.
Have you both seen it's the PHP UK Conference next month? But I thought maybe it'd be a bit of a chance for a cheeky meetup.
I'll be up for it.
Would it be midweek, or because I'd probably struggle to get there? All right, yeah. If it was,
I didn't know if you could get your work to kind of pay for a ticket.
I doubt, because it would have been.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot you're doing that now.
But front end,
you're a front end guy now.
Oh, yeah, you're not
exclusive. Yeah, don't need any of that scummy PHP stuff anymore.
Yeah, that's server side.
Side. But I think it's next month. It's in London. So
okay, well, if you guys go, I'll meet you after
we
could
talk about this.
I think it's like £170 for a day.
That's not bad.
It's not too bad, and it looks like it's got some really good topics on there and stuff. So
we'll have to put that in the show notes then, definitely.
Yeah, and if anyone who listens to the show, if they're going, let us know, and we can perhaps meet them.
We can ignore you. We can try and block you because you'll say to us how bad we are. It's like, we don't know. Your podcast sucks.
Yeah. So has your company got you a ticket for that, Mickey?
I'm in negotiations.
I raise you a ticket.
But that'd be cool. So I thought I'd just throw that in there.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. So how about your week?
It's been good, yeah. So I kind of had a couple of days in between Christmas and New Year's in the office.
Yeah.
So it was quite weird. It was quite good, actually, because I didn't feel, when you kind of have like a couple of weeks off and you feel completely out of it, it kind of kept me still in the loop a bit.
Yeah.
And so this week, throughout the time I'd had off, I was able to do a couple of blog posts, which I'm going to shamelessly plug now. So I finally did the Git one, which was talking about Git internals, and I've also did one called Cons, Lists, and Folds in PHP. And essentially what that is just this idea of how you can kind of make out of this simple data structure just a cons, which is a pair, like almost like a pair of like a structured pair. Or tuple, maybe you can think of it like as you can actually make like linked lists and how you use these fold operations and how you implement them in PHP, which is quite cool. And I'm finally almost wrapping up another blog post, because I haven't done blog posts in ages. I kind of stopped early April or something last year, but I'm doing some.
It's hard, isn't it?
It is hard, yeah. And another one I'm doing is streams, and these are like lazy lists, and you can almost think of them like in Haskell and stuff. It's very very common there, and Closure is this idea of infinite lists. So a list like that has infinite numbers, and it's very weird to think of, but you can kind of think of, if I know my number now and I know how to get the next number, as a function lazily, I could have an infinite list. and I can like say, oh yeah, give me a list, 1 to n, infinite, 1 to infinity, and then I can just do what I need to do with what I need. And it, you can say like, give me, I can work out the Fibonacci numbers by saying, like the first Fibonacci number is 1, and here's a function to get the next Fibonacci number, and I can work from that. And you can do this really cool stuff. And so that's one thing I'm going to be doing. And there's a couple of links actually on mine showing like functional PHP is actually a really cool library. And what's cool about it is, so it's got a userland version of the library. So this is what I quite like. It's got a userland version. You can use these methods in userland if you only can, in PHP. But it's also got a C equivalent. So if you want the, performance boosts and stuff, you can just use the C equivalent and actually add it as an extension to like PHP runtime. So it's really cool that you can then get the speed boost. So that's a really cool library. And another link I've actually got is quite a funny one, and these are things I just found we were talking about and found during the week at work, is emoji.inc. And obviously, so what you want to really do is be able to select an emojicon and start drawing stuff with it. I mean, obviously that's what you want to do, and then save the picture. I mean, it's just fun. But yeah, so those are the links that I found this week, and
that's cool.
It's so sad, isn't it? But it's just fun. You just end up start playing. It's like, I want to use this emojicon. And another thing actually this week is linking on with databases actually, Mickey, is speed and performance in databases and queries, and taking advantage of indexes and stuff. And there was one interesting. So my query, like my SQL's not too bad. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's okay. And I've been playing at work. We use Postgres, and it was the first time I've ever used Postgres. And it's weird that how Postgres kind of, in MySQL, you really do think always in joins, but sometimes it's actually more performant in Postgres to use in select statements and stuff. And there was one example that we did. So I wrote this query. It did what it needed to do, but it took like, say, 200 milliseconds or something. When you run explain over it, so you say explain this, and it will show you how the query planner, and what the query planner essentially is. So when you give a query, give like Postgres or MySQL a query, it then plans out that query, like the most optimal way to do it, then it will actually run it. So what you want to do is you want to tune your query to produce the best optimal query plan for it then to run it. And you looked at this one that I was doing, and it wasn't doing it at all that well. It looked okay, like you thought, oh yeah, it made sense what it was doing, but it didn't. And there was a couple of things I did, a couple of things my boss actually ended up doing, that changing it. And it was like taking advantage of the fact, this index. And there was this weird thing where I thought, but it hit the index. But like I had to actually specify, say, a table name and then the table attribute, the table column, because the query planner didn't know about it and stuff. I'm hoping to do a blog post on that as well, like how these subtle things that you can do to the query to make the query planner kind of egg it in the right direction. And we got it down to, say, 3 milliseconds or something stupid from 200.
Well,
all by just changing this query a little bit, where you thought, no, it's fine, and I suppose that then goes on to what we were talking about the last episode, Mick, which was like the most the performance hit that we get is by the fact that developers time and developer understanding, and it's over optimization maybe, but in these cases such as these queries that get run, like in this case it was going to get run every hour. But you can get queries that will get run, say every 5 minutes or so. Now you want to make, if you're going down from, say, in this data set now, currently it's 200 milliseconds to 2 milliseconds. You can kind of, think about it that, say this data set grows, exponentially, this query is going to get slower and slower and slower. And if we can get it down and keep it down, then, it really is valuable.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's me rambling on, but query planning, pretty interesting stuff.
Very cool. I do have a couple of random things to throw in.
Yeah? Well,
first
don't throw them at my face, but you can throw it anywhere else.
Yeah, the face is taken off of the beat.
Yeah, please leave my face for a little while.
Well, this one's a bit shocking, actually, but it's kind of like saying if you want PHP information, go to php.net. But basically, when I did build PHP 5.6, usually php.net wouldn't be the first place I'd go to. I'd go to a tutorial site or whatever. But actually, I did follow documentation on php.net, and it was really, really good. And literally, I followed every command as it said, and it worked perfectly. So I would say anyone who maybe who has got their own managed hosting or whatever, and is now setting up their own box of DigitalOcean, I really would recommend doing that, because you follow that, you can't go too far wrong. I literally just, I knew I had CentOS installed, so I just followed the link for that. and literally this will just show you how to download the main PHP files and then build it. And for anyone who's not built PHP from source before, don't be scared, because literally you can just follow these commands and it'll work basically. And as you get more confident with it, you might want to start changing which sort of modules you install with it. And I think there's a command, isn't there, will list all the commands all the modules that are available for your PHP build. So it's really, really good, really, really simple. Give it a go.
When you run that command and it shows you all the different modules that you can install, is that exactly the same as in your HTTPD conf file, where you've got they're all kind of commented out to begin with?
Well, not really, because all that will do is, like, in your httpd.conf file, that will just say whether they're enabled or not. But you could enable a module, but it might not even be present. Do you know what I mean?
Ah, right, okay.
So you've got to make sure they're installed before you enable it.
Yeah.
But that said, I'm guessing the httpd.conf one, the ones that are commented out and stuff, they'd already be installed if they're giving you the option to? I don't know.
Yes, so they must be, I would have thought, yeah. Because I guess if they're giving you the option to enable something that doesn't exist, or...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, this seems a bit kind of, a bit silly.
Although, that said, I think I got stung because I didn't build my PHP version with PDO support. So,
and then you're like, and I have to recompile this now.
Yeah, exactly, I did. So, actually, I don't think it does. I think you have to be careful there.
It's quite cool, though, with that, isn't it? That you can compile it and you can really tune it to what you want to do. And you know that. And you haven't got stuff in there that you don't need. And so, if there's it kind of helps with error bugging and debugging and stuff like that, because you haven't got stuff, that you're never going to touch.
Yeah.
I mean, the best code you have is the code you haven't written, because you don't need it.
Yeah, very true. And I think, like, for the WebSocket chat application that I created, I used Ratchet, which is like a standalone server that you install. But actually, there's a PHP WebSocket module that you can also build with your PHP.
You can actually build.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, and I saw like a library that you can then use with it.
That's cool.
So I didn't do it that way, but I could have done, and in hindsight. So yeah, really cool. And like I say, it's not hard at all. If you cock up, then you can rebuild it. It's really easy to rebuild. So
I think that's definitely a topic that we should
definitely.
We've been contacted by a few people that are kind of interested in the setup of a server and what have you, haven't we? So we should spend a bit of.
I think we could do like a mini series on that.
Actually, cool.
That would be useful. Yeah. Yeah, because I was doing it, because I've always generally used MAMP and MAMP Pro and stuff on my local machine, but in the new job, like, I didn't want to bug them for a license, so I just installed or set up native Apache on my Mac, and it was actually pretty simple, to be honest with you. Like, because I'd kind of always avoided it because it's I don't want to go in and do, especially on like my working machine. Like, I was always scared of going in there and typing a wrong command and then doing something incorrectly or opening my machine up and what have you. But it was actually really straightforward. But it is, if you've never done it before, it is quite intimidating because it's, you are effectively playing with your engine rather than polishing your car.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. That's a cool saying. I've never actually heard that. That's so cool.
But another cliche, I think the biggest thing to fear is fear itself in this kind of thing.
I like this. This is inspirational stuff now, guys.
Especially if you start with a VirtualBox, right? I mean, what can you do?
What's the worst that can happen? Yeah.
You just have to, you just clean it, reboot it, refresh it, go.
Yeah.
By the way, I've been looking at that page, and there was like a comment at the end. It says like when I upgrade, and I just noticed this type that someone had put in, and it's the .asp extension, and then it goes to that uses the HTTP, like the PHP engine, and I'm just like, we should do that. I want my site to have .asp, extension file endings that actually runs PHP scripts.
Yeah,
and
cool.
It's genius. Actually, saying that, Tunbridge and Malling, where I live, we're getting we want to get a car permit just so we can park outside and stuff, and they use ASP.
Really?
True that. True series. It's still around there, man. It's still kicking around.
Something else, another big high-profile website that I saw recently that used classic ASP, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was, which is a really bad kind of thing to bring up if I don't know what it is. But it was something where I think it was either HMRC or something governmenty
That's probably where you're going to get it, though, isn't it? Because it's going to be like, they're going to use Microsoft Stack. If they use that, then they're going to use, and if it's a couple of years old, well, now like almost 10, 11, 12 years old, ASP was around and stuff. So good old ASP.
The other thing I was going to just say, and like Fraser, you just brought up the thing about the whole httpd.conf file.
Yes.
It's actually, that sounds really sad now, but it's actually a really good read if you read from the top to the bottom.
It's quite intuitive, actually, isn't it? Yeah, and you can kind of see what's...
Yeah. It's well commented, and there's a lot of stuff in there you don't kind of realise. And but yeah, it's well worth doing. It's really good.
You should move to nginx. Woo!
I want to try nginx. Yeah.
PHP-FPM and then nginx, and then you can have PHP.
Well, I'm really just getting comfy with HT access. So, like, if I have to ditch HT access, like, I don't know what I'm going to do.
What do you have instead of HT access with nginx?
Well, so like you can use Apache is really good because it's got loads of extensions. It's quite a beast. It's been around for a long time. It's well supported. It's got lots of configuration options and stuff. And then normally you can actually embed. Obviously you can use the PHP. PHP almost engine inside of it, and it can handle dealing with the requests and stuff.
Yeah.
But what happens there is that when a request comes in, Apache actually makes a fork, makes a new PHP engine instance, runs your code, and then kills it. So that's quite expensive to load up PHP just to run that request and then kill it. So what you then have is this idea of having like PHP running on its own almost. And that's cool. And then that's where PHP-FPM and fast CGI come in, where what you're doing is Apache would then go to PHP-FPM, and PHP-FPM will have like 4 running instances, and they'll be like booted up ready and waiting. It will then do a request, and it will keep that one open, so it'll clean it, for the next term, but it will keep it open.
Right.
So what nginx does then is it's very simple in the fact that it doesn't have all the configuration options and all the extensions that Apache has, but it's like, I do this well. I serve files quick, and I can also interact with like PHP-FPM and PHP-FPM and use that to actually access run PHP and get a request back. So I can send that request to PHP-FPM, I can give it back, and I can do it quickly, and it can do it very, very quickly. I mean, you can tune Apache to do it, but it's quite nice using nginx because you can use nginx, and then the configuration configuration files aren't that bad. One of the things it doesn't have is htaccess files, but actually those are probably the biggest performance hit on Apache, because if you have htaccess files open, enabled, that what actually has to happen is Apache, every time it does a request, it has to go and search on the fly, saying, oh, do you have any htaccess files that I need to actually look at, interpret, and actually configure this instance for. So with not having that, and you have to then restart the engine each time, if you make a configuration option change, that adds a lot of other performance boosts. So you can actually get Apache as fast as nginx, but nginx is quite nice because it's very simple.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I mean, has nginx given the Apache Software Foundation people a kick up the backside? I mean, they're now competing, I guess, in terms of performance.
But I think the thing is Apache's always going to be around because it's so big, and like the options you can have, and there's so many extensions out there for things, and it's
very comfortable, isn't it?
It's very and everyone knows Apache, and it's one of those things, isn't it? But it's the cool hipster thing to use nginx, but there are reasons to use it because it is very good, quick. I mean, it's so quick at sending static files, and it's the idea really is it's a reverse proxy where what happens is that like PHP-FPM runs on a port, or it can run on like a local socket, and all nginx is doing is just routing those requests to that PHP, and returning it back.
Yeah, I think another big benefit of Apache over nginx is just the amount of resource out there. It's just insane, like how much stuff is out there. Like I tried setting up a Tomcat server because one of the guys always, I want you to set up Tomcat like on your local machine, just as my dev environment.
Java stuff.
And I was like, okay, I'll set up Tomcat, and it was just like there was no resource out there at all. And obviously, there's going to be a lot more resource out there for nginx, but it's that kind of
Apache
that
has
thing.
Standard, it's like PHP, isn't it? Where everyone uses it, and that means then there's lots of resources about how to use it and stuff like that.
Yes.
So it kind of keeps on, and there's nothing wrong with using Apache at all. I mean, it does its job, and you can even use Apache and then use PHP-FPM with it. You can use the extension, and then it chucks it off to PHP-FPM to handle the request and stuff. So
yeah, I actually think, because one of the other tutorials I looked at, it was installing Apache with PHP-FPM. So you're going to get big performance boost, I guess, and if you use that
it's
as well.
quite nice because it kind of makes you feel more, that what's happening is, because I suppose this is another thing where stuff like Python and Ruby, you have to run them, external almost, where you've got your you've got something like nginx, and then you've got, it sending it off to rack or, like Python's WSGI and stuff, and how to handle it. And whatever you want, the server you want to use in that place, and it allows you to think, well, okay, so this is my server. This is then handling the files, but then if it needs to handle a PHP file, it just sends it off to this external service, which is how my PHP runs, to do it, and then it returns it. And not thinking of them so intertwined and stuff, because you can then in theory restart PHP without having to restart nginx. And you can restart nginx without having to restart PHP, and it does that separation, which I quite like.
Yeah. I've got two other things, actually. Sorry, I keep rambling on.
No,
absolutely.
We haven't done one in a while, so it's pretty good to have a good old little ramble.
One thing I was going to say, if anyone is thinking of playing with WebSockets, obviously best just to play with it locally first.
Yeah. But no, Dev on Live. Play on Live.
But if you're not comfortable
through QFTP,
yep, that's it.
If you're not comfortable with opening ports on your live server, one of the tips that I saw was, if you're not using your HTTPS, you could just open up on port 433. Is it 433 or 443? 443, because obviously that's already open and you won't have any problems. So
that's a really clever idea.
I thought it was clever. Yeah, I never would have thought about it. And the other thing I was going to say, I sent this link to Ed, but I don't think I sent it to you and Lou. But did you see Argos? They had iMacs, like the latest and greatest.
That's so good. We need a screenshot of it. I don't know if we do.
What is it?
It was on Argos for £400.
Yeah,
27 inch.
Brand new iMac for £400, 227 inch.
I tried.
You tried, yeah.
I tried.
And what did it come up with? Out of stock or?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was some cock up that they made.
It's like at the back end, they're like, shit. We need to block it, so it's literally like, if it's this product item, don't let them put it in the.
Can you imagine the developer who was responsible for that?
Oh, what a screw up! What I mean, it must have been a joke. Like,
I don't even know. I don't reckon it would have been a developer. It would have been one of the marketing guys or one of the products.
Yeah, they're like, we need to.
Yeah, like sitting there because they'll have a back end, won't they? Where they've got like some, I don't know, minimum wage employee doing stock control, and sending orders out and stuff.
And he's just like, I really want this, so what I'm going to do is quickly do it as like, and just
it's you right.
Yeah.
Some disgruntled employee, yeah.
But I wonder actually, because obviously they did, it was pretty soon that you couldn't actually buy it. I wonder if they have some sort of sanity checks in place, or whether someone's clocked it.
You know what, right? Because that's what I thought as well. Like, I thought maybe what they've got is they've kind of got, look, if this item, was this and now it's this, or like it looks fishy, that
flag a warning.
If it's an iMac, don't let's sell it until less than like £1,000. What are you talking about, you crazy people?
Be interesting to know.
But then I'd love to know people who actually did get to buy it, if there's some like legal thing saying, no, we can't, you can't sell it for that or something. But God,
that's the thing with the company as big as Argos, so they're just going to take, because I guess
they might as well take the hit, mightn't they? Because it looks so bad if publicity, it's so embarrassing in the first place. But God,
I bet Apple would come down on them like a ton of bricks. So
that's a good point. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Well, have you know? I mean, like, there's now, due to like all the EU laws and everything, like the VAT and stuff's gone up, hasn't it? Like on like online purchases or like digital purchases.
Right.
I know Lean Pub now you have to put VAT on it, things and stuff. So I think the price of like the cheapest thing on Apple's App Store or whatever is now 79p instead of 69p or something.
Oh, because it was 59p to begin with, wasn't it? Yeah.
So they've kind of like upped things because they have to because of the VAT. Damn you, EU.
I know, 10p more for an app.
So what is this link that you sent us?
So it's quite interesting, actually. So we've here's a question. So say you want to know if something exists or not, and say I want to know if a value exists. In a key values thing. So I'll say, look, if it is set, maybe like array and then key, then okay, good. If it's not set, OE validation, we need to know that this is set. Would you class then, so say like, okay, false is a value, true is a value, these are values, maybe someone did say, oh yeah, I don't want this, so this is, false, so it is set technically. Is an empty string a value?
Yes.
Oh, we've had this before. I'm sure it's come up. It is, isn't it?
It is. And, a lot of the cases, really though, it shouldn't be. You know,
Yeah.
like we assume not to. And there was a little bug that we kind of found at work this week. And so, you know, what we've done is we say is set, and, you know, it's quite nice because is set. And actually, it was quite funny because Phil Sturgeon retweeted this, and I literally just pinched it from the site, so I feel kind of bad. But it's trying to understand the difference between is set and empty. And you can think of is set as just like what you're doing is you're like suppressing the errors of a value, and you're saying it's not really equal to null. So if it's not null, then is set is true, you know, so I've got a value. So you can, it's quite nice because you can say, okay, if I've got this key value, but it's equal to null, because null isn't really a value, and it's a null value.
Yeah.
It's true. Empty, on the other hand, goes by the fact that it suppresses the error, but is falsy. So falsy, though, is weird because falsy is, you know, like, oh, it's an empty string, it's false, it's 0. But it's also, I think, you can say falsy is a string with just 0 in it because of the way type coercion, you know, the way it changes and coerces types in PHP. So a string with 0
So
in
a string with 0 in it is false.
So yeah, that's a sad side note that now I don't know
Was
why.
that Dennis that we just heard?
Did you hear that? I got the door shut. Wow, that was Dennis. Yeah, sorry, listeners.
D-Dog.
No, don't be sorry. He's cool little. Yeah. Cool
How is
little-
Dennis? How is Dennis settling in like your mum's and dad's house?
He's doing all right. He's doing all right. He's obviously he's an old cat, so he doesn't really wander far, which is good.
Aww.
But it'd be good when we get him to the new house and he'll have his big garden. And
How is the new house like going? Is it?
new house is pretty much all replastered now.
Oh,
And next week heating's going in.
Oh.
Electricity's already in. So then we just need new kitchen, new bathroom, flooring, decorating, done. So we're
when
hoping
will you
end
be
of
in?
Feb.
End of Feb.
Well, yeah, end of Feb, mid March. Hopefully
Yeah.
no later than that, and then we'll have you guys round and get the barbie out. Hopefully we'll have some
very
decent
much
weather.
looking forward to that. Yeah, very much looking forward to that.
Yeah.
so can I quickly just say that empty thing that I was having a problem with?
Yeah,
really
go for it.
embarrassing. But it's because in empty you can't actually pass a string literal. It has to be a variable. Like you can't pass in some value. You have to pass in a reference to a value, which is a bit annoying. I think in PHP 5.6 that they've cleaned that up. Or actually, no, I think in PHP 5.6 they allow you to do a return of a function call. But yeah, so if you pass in, so if I do this, I don't know if I can share this, but this code empty is true. So it is empty even if it's got 0. So you have to check if it's empty and it's not actually equal to this. But that's just the way PHP type, it tries to make things simpler.
Yeah.
It actually makes things more confusing if that, like that kind of edge case where, say if someone does put just a 0 in. I know normally you think of it as, you should think of that, as a value, but, as empty, sorry. But, in real programming sense, that's not empty. It's got a string in it. So yeah, but that was an interesting one. I just thought it was, and I always get confused by is set and empty, and I just found that online, and I just thought that's amazing. I need to tweet that just so I remember it.
Yeah.
The difference between is set and empty. But yeah, so that's
very cool.
Random.
Fraser, you've been learning a lot of front end stuff like recently, obviously. Like
I have, yeah. It's been quite a swamp of information, to be honest with you, because I've been learning like Backbone. So I've done a few courses on Backbone. I think I spoke about the Code Schools Backbone courses last time. Absolutely phenomenal courses, like the best learning resource I've seen for it anyway. Been spending time with Grunt. Been doing front end testing with Jasmine. Which I'm still kind of getting my head around and learning where I should be, or just in terms of at what stage I should be writing the tests and all this kind of stuff, like behavior-driven development versus test-driven development and stuff. So the company I'm working for, they're kind of just getting into all that kind of stuff now. So it's a nice time to come in because everyone's kind of having discussions on the best practices to do, and we're kind of like developing our strategy with that all kind of together and going forward with it there. So that's really interesting. Require.js as well, which is surprisingly complicated. Like for me, because I kind of assumed it was just, you put your dependencies and it pulls in whichever dependencies you need in certain instances. And it is basically that. Yeah. But you have to restructure your code and you have to use
think in a different way, I'm guessing.
Exactly, and using like AMD scripts, which
I don't know what AMD stands for, but it's basically like packaging up your scripts so that you return like an object which you can then interact with through require.js, because it passes that object in. So a lot of times you need to wrap your scripts up in certain ways just to kind of encapsulate them and kind of keep them all in their own kind of namespace, what have you. So it's been really, really interesting. Just a lot of information going in, a lot of attempting to learn, and it's really cool. I'm really enjoying the place where I'm working as well, because they build a lot of like online gaming stuff. So like you'll be walking around and then you'll look at people's screens and there's like slot machines going down on people's on people's screens. It's really cool. And then like the testing guys, when they're testing, you'll hear like when you walk into a casino, you hear like all those kind of noises. And it's just really cool and a lot to learn. But it's awesome because it's I want to be able to learn new stuff, and I'm really enjoying it. And are
you just hitting up then? Is it HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, or is it
and JavaScript? Yeah, but it's
those
massively JavaScript heavy. Like it's all cool. Single page applications. So it's basically just interacting with an API and displaying everything through JavaScript rather than the traditional way we've done it, where you're kind of displaying stuff through a PHP front end.
I don't know if you know this yet, like with like the back ends, how do they do authentication like with the API? Because it's always weird like thinking that you've got this API that then you only really want your application to
exactly. And even in terms of like user accounts as well, you need to be super strict on. Yeah, I don't know, to be honest with you. Like,
I mean, you've only started working there because there was actually a really bad bug. I can't remember what it was called. I think it went through Hacker News recently, and let me just name and shame. It was an English. Moonpig. That's it. You remember Moonpig?
Right.
Like they're like they're a big old But the way that they like their Android applications, some guy was just sniffing how their calls to their API works, and they're like, it goes through HTTP or authentication, and stuff like that. And you're thinking, okay, that's a bit, just using digest. And he decrypts. He thinks, okay, so obviously, this is going to be my user account details or something, to authenticate with this API to actually have a secure connection. And it turns out that it's actually just you can easily decrypt like HTTP digest stuff. If it's MD5, you can just search for online stuff. And they found out it's actually just like dummy date, like username and password. So you can authenticate there. You can go in, and then you can actually use. It doesn't even only allow your user to authenticate. You can actually go in and just change your the user ID, and it will give you information for other people's.
No way.
So, and it's a weird thing because Moonpig allowed you to do OAuth and these good technologies that you should have. Oh, you found a link, Mick?
Oh no, sorry, it's unrelated. Carry on.
Okay. But so you can do like good stuff, but because obviously with legacy stuff they still need to support this. And that's where the break goes. I mean, that's probably where a lot of like these, people, these high-profile security attacks happen. Is not on the latest and greatest that we use, and it's the fact that we have to support something that we did like years ago, and people still access that. It's kind of scary.
I was just going to say that, with these big name companies, you kind of assume that they're on the ball with the security and stuff and encryption, and like. I had a girl ask me about a year ago, like she said that she thought some of her WhatsApp messages had been, intercepted. I said, was it possible? I'm sure they weren't, but I said, no, it's not. I'm sure they weren't anyway, but I said, no, it's not possible because they'll be encrypted. And then literally I saw in BBC News, like November 2014, not long ago, that WhatsApp decided they're going to start encrypting their messages that they weren't before.
Isn't that just on Android, though? Or is that on iOS as well?
I think you might be right,
It's only on Android, because Android's version of it, and you both... Yeah. But they do... I suppose the thing is, it's encrypted in the sense of using HTTPS, I'm sure, but it's like the fact that it's actually end-to-end encryption now.
Yeah.
Where, they don't even know what you've got, and only you two... and that's scary. For like, obviously you've got, a link to thing. How cool is that GCHQ building, by the way?
It's very cool.
I want to work there. That is cool.
It looks like a football stadium.
It does, doesn't it? It's like this. They call it the donut, don't they? It's weird.
Yeah.
But like, it's scary for these tech. For these. For like security and trying to fight cybercrime. If we're able to do this stuff.
Yeah.
And like the MI5 and all this and all these. FBI and all this, they don't like us. Been able to do this stuff because even though they think it's great that of course we can do it, but it's like, hang on a minute, no, we still need to have the technologies to actually break it for good.
Well,
in quotes.
I don't know if I already mentioned this on one of the podcasts, but like one of the last lectures I had last year was talking about like how emails are not encrypted whatsoever.
I know, they're
just plain text. You can encrypt them, but it's never really caught on. And like one of the main guys who came up with encryption method for emails, he basically was arrested, and basically the American government wanted to put him in prison because they just didn't like the fact that people could email without them intercepting.
That is insane.
And it's really, really dodgy.
So, was he actually imprisoned, or
no? He wasn't.
What were the charges? What, making something that can be encrypted? Like, you know,
well, they're funny,
it's
and
because
like,
I'm better than you.
It's like, because I didn't realise, like, apparently even in this country it changes from state to state. But like with your like your password encryptions that you use on your sites and stuff, if you cannot produce the keys that are used, you can go to prison for 2 years, and that's despite you denying. You could say, "Oh, I didn't know." Ignorance is no excuse, as it is with any parts of the law. But yeah, if you can't produce the keys for your encryption algorithms, then you can be sent to prison.
But that's going to send a whole lot. Like, if obviously nothing's ever going to happen where it does. But if they actually decide to clamp down on that, like, who knows? They're like,
yeah. Well, I know. I guess it's not been too many examples. My lecturer said there was 2 people in the UK who'd gone down because they either refused to produce the keys or couldn't produce the keys.
Well, isn't it like that in like China and stuff? Where you know, like TrueCrypt, you can encrypt your hard drive.
Yeah,
and you bring it in, and if you don't tell them the password, you know.
But stuff. And the laws do change from country to country on what you are allowed to do with encryption. But in some countries, encryption is illegal completely. You cannot use encryption.
Insane and stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, we have come to the end.
We have come to the hour mark, haven't we? We have. It's been a great podcast. I mean, has anyone actually got anything else to say this week?
Well,
I mean, it's been kind of a nice.
I was just going to say that obviously Lou couldn't join us tonight, but hopefully we'll be back with us soon.
Absolutely.
But he's been doing a lot of stuff with. He was talking about callbacks recently, wasn't he? So perhaps it'd be good to get on and
functions
find out
and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. But hope Lou's well, and he'll hopefully be back with us next week.
Will Dennis be with us as well? That's the question. You know?
Almost certainly.
I do like a bit of Dennis.
Yeah,
and maybe Toby.
And Toby as well. And Aimee may be back.
Maybe
Aimee was going to come on the podcast today.
Yeah.
Amy's coming over. She's coming over.
over.
So Aimee, how have you enjoyed the podcast today? Has it been great?
I haven't listened to it. I've been watching Breaking Bad.
She's watching Breaking Bad for the first time. She is in for a treat.
Are you going to give her a little cuddle so we can see you cuddle her? Oh, that's cute. Oh,
pat her on the head. That's what you do with girls, isn't it?
No.
No, you high five them then.
High five them. Hey, that's how you do it. I'm like, high five, girl. Boom.
That's terrible.
Have you told that story on air before?
Oh no, yeah. So the first time we met up for meet up, the day before, so I met up with Lou, and Lou's like, I said, I hope I don't high five her, and Lou said, you'd better not high five her. Don't high five her. Obviously, 5 minutes into the conversation, there was something she said. I was like, well, that's high five worthy material. You could just see in her face like, this is weird. But then she was like up in the air. It was a slow motion. Not like that. It was more like, it wasn't that loud either, because that would be really
It could have been
weird.
worse though. It could have been like the awkward bit
me.
at the end where you're like, all like, oh, do we hug? Do we have a little kiss? And then
well, and it was like, oh no, that wasn't it. You see, no. I went in for the old hug. I was like, let's do the hug, but it was the high five 5 minutes in that I think sealed the deal.
Yeah,
you agree, babe?
100%.
You see, and look at that. You see, all good relationships start with high five.
Now you always high five me.
Well, I high five. It's the only way now.
It works.
It works, baby. Don't be angry at me. High five.
Programming and relationship advice. Amazing.
We do everything on this podcast.
Everything on here.
So, Aimee, is there anything we should get Aimee to say so I can edit it out and
Can we get Aimee to say goodbye?
Can you get me to say goodbye?
Yeah.
I'll do the old thank you for listening, and ask people to send us messages as well.
This has been 3 devs and an Aimee. Shall I say
3 devs and an Aimee.
Brilliant.
I like it. It technically has been 3 devs and an Aimee today.
It has. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh dear. Anyway, right. Well,
Thanks for listening, guys.
Would you like to say goodbye to the audience, or say goodbye? Make the podcast the ending.
What
of the
am I
podcast.
And tell them to send us emails as well.
Send us emails, guys. Yeah. Say, guys, goodbye. 3 devs. It's been 3 devs and an Aimee. Please, could you send emails, because we're really sad people.
I'm going to forget all of this to say. It's been 3 devs and an Aimee.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's so embarrassing. How'd you do it?
You've been listening to 3 Devs and a Maybe. You can contact us at contact@3devsandamaybe.com or follow us on Twitter at the number 3 devs and a maybe.